2023 Leonardo DiCaprio's latest movie Killers of the Flower Moon is shockingly released. Brothers, before you take a look at your backyard. There must be oil coming out of there. What is oil? In short, that's black gold. Resources that can make you rich overnight. No one would have thought. A place where birds don't poop. Suddenly one day oil appeared. Native Indians who were originally very poor, overnight, became the richest person per capita in the world. This is the real incident in Oklahoma, USA. But after the discovery of oil, a large influx of white people. The best way to grab resources is to pick up girls and get married. If it doesn't work, just kill people and get more angry. According to incomplete statistics, hundreds of top indie billionaires murdered. Not only Xiao Lizzie is involved, because of this incident, directly gave birth to the FBI. The birth of the FBI. Watch this movie adapted from real events today. Titanic hero Leonardo. Killers of the Flower Moon starring the Godfather Robert De Niro. Recommended to everyone. The story takes place in the 1920s. Native Osage Indians live an extremely simple primitive life until black gold suddenly emerged from under their soil. Everything has changed. Barren land suddenly turns into oil hotspot. Attracted Jewish businessmen and investors from all directions. It's like the wealth is pouring out of the ground. Osage Indians became incredibly wealthy. At the same time, the social environment has also become more complex. Some Jews used marriage and intrigue, dispossessing the Indians step by step. Control over oil resources. Leo, who just retired from the army, caught the train to wealth. Just got off the train. I heard the shouts of oil workers everywhere. But Leo's identity is not simple. His uncle had a huge cattle ranch nearby, although there is no oil. But he has already become rich. Leo affectionately calls him king. The king gave Leo two things. Be careful with your words and deeds when meeting Indians for the first time. Second, understand their history, and use their history. There were already some rich young Indians at that time, assassinated for unknown reasons, but it did not attract the attention of the Osage community. They spend money like water. A black and white photo can cost up to $40. Kaka 20 photos, without blinking. As long as there is a certain problem with a luxury car, do not hesitate to replace it with a brand new luxury car. So a lot of white people hang around them. One day you will get lucky. What if a handsome young man marries a rich Osage woman? According to local law, after the rich woman died, the handsome guy can inherit it directly. The oil resources he owns. So many young Osage women, ruthlessly assassinated by her husband, under the arrangement of uncle. Leo starts working as a DD driver on a busy street. Young Molly. I immediately noticed Leo's handsome appearance. Over time, Leo became Molly's exclusive driver. The king soon heard about this. While eating, the king asks Leo if he knows Molly's identity. There are 4 sisters in Molly's family. There is also an old mother. No male heir. So Molly holds the so-called property. The king asked Leo if he was interested in Molly, and whether you are willing to get married. If 2 families can be combined, wealth will flow the right way. After all, wait until Molly inherits her mother's oil fortune. Eventually the wealth will belong to Leo. It's definitely a good investment for him. Leo is thoughtful. In fact, apart from the money, Leo quite likes Molly herself. Since then, Leo carefully tried to establish more contact with Molly. Molly also has a crush on Leo. After all, no one can resist the charm of Leonardo. The relationship between the two quickly heated up. The next day Molly gave Leo an expensive cowboy hat, and invited him to his home as a guest. Leo was shocked as soon as he walked in. That's Molly's mother Asa. Asa doesn't like his daughter dating white people. Think they are just coveting their daughter's property, but still can't stop Molly from falling in love. Because in the eyes of others, Leo's uncle also has a strong background. His feelings for Molly should not be because of money, but because of love. Molly listened to what others said about Leo. The corners of his mouth began to rise unconsciously. Not long after, Leo and Molly tie the knot. According to local customs, a grand Indian wedding. The king is also a friend of Molly's father. He gave a touching speech at the wedding, pushed the lively atmosphere of the wedding to a climax. But there is a woman whose face looks very bad. She is Molly's sister Minnie. The king went to comfort her, and pray for her, hope she can recover soon. Not long after, Minnie didn't carry it through. Generally speaking, Osage women find it difficult to survive past 50. This is what the king told Leo. Minnie died. Her property was divided by her husband. Not long after, Molly's sister Anna is missing. Found by the police the next day, has become a cold corpse. Anna was shot in the head and died. The same day the body was found, their relatives were also assassinated. From then on, bad luck came one after another. Asa, who had been ill for a long time, also traveled to Hershey. Molly suffers from diabetes, in addition to taking care of children. Shrouded in the shadow of family members' deaths every day, Molly meets a private detective on the road. Know it from a private detective. Anna, who died, was actually pregnant. Molly is in more pain. In order to find out the truth behind the recent mysterious deaths of many Osage people, the meeting decided to send an envoy to Washington, ask for help. But the strange thing is, the ambassador received a mysterious letter just after he set off. Ask him to stop investigating the case. When the messenger walked out of the door, but he was killed on the spot by 2 strange men on the street, and the private detective just found some clues. Also assassinated. Anna was heartbroken about this matter. He realized, there is a mysterious force that is eroding his family. In addition to her husband Leo and their 3 children, he only has one sister left. Unfortunately, a big explosion destroyed my sister's house. The scene was a mess. Horrible. As everyone knows, the mastermind behind all this is actually the king. He is humble on the surface, mingle with the Osage, actually a wolf in sheep's clothing. The turning point of the story occurs with Leo. Molly's diabetes caused him to die radically. Later, I spent a huge amount of money to buy insulin to relieve the symptoms. At that time, only 5 people in the United States were using insulin, and Molly is one of them. Molly now holds huge amounts of oil resources, so the king asked Leo to secretly add insulin to the added a chronic medicine. Although Leo loves Molly very much, but he is just like his uncle, still a white supremacist Jewish businessman. She endured the pain and gave Molly some chronic medication. Molly may have felt pressure from her husband. She knows she doesn't have much time left. Before dying, she expressed her wishes to Leo. Hope to be able to travel. Look at this world. Leo didn't force him to stay and sent him to the train station. Molly takes the train to Washington. Osage briefed the president during a meeting. Massacres of people. However, we did not receive a clear answer from the president. Molly felt depressed after returning home. Leo has been taking good care of him. Not long after, an agent finds Molly. He's an FBI agent sent by the president. Detectives begin reinvestigating Molly, causes of death of the other 3 sisters, and find clues from it. Following the clues, several people involved were caught. The final clue points to Leo and the king. The scene where the king and Leo meet after hearing the news just happened to be seen by the detective hiding in the dark. The detective knows, if you want to catch the culprit, the key is to start with Leo. Wait until Leo is taken to the police station for investigation. The detective sent people to Leo's home to rescue Molly. At this time, Molly has already had hallucinations. He was reborn after the doctor's timely rescue. At the police station, Leo pointed the finger at his uncle. Now, as long as he is a witness, call out the king's criminal behavior in court. The king must face jail. But on the day of trial, see the king appear at court. Leo kept silent. The judge can only adjourn the hearing. Leo was then released on bail. The king's lawyer comes to Leo. Tell him that as long as Leo himself doesn't speak, nothing will happen to the whole family. That's the truth. There was not enough evidence to decide the law. Unexpectedly, the sudden death of Leo's young son changes everything. Leo attends child's funeral in handcuffs. Finally, under the persuasion of the detective, Leo for Molly and his 2 children, finally decided to testify in court. This latter part of the story is told a bit hastily, because the whole movie lasted 3 hours. You can see the details. Full movie, directed by Martin Scorsese, a director who is over 80 years old. Shutter Island, The Irishman and The Wolf of Wall Street, and a series of well-known. The film became famous across the story of a killer. Back to the 1920s. Explore a series of bizarre murders among the Osage Nation. A wonderful narrative of 3.5 hours. Tell the story of this dark history. The director presents the complex plot in an orderly manner. An in-depth analysis of the inner world of the main characters, from a criminal's perspective, presenting this riveting crime thriller. In the film, Robert De Niro is a very clever and cunning old fox, under the guise of kindness and charity, hidden ruthlessness and evil intentions. This kind of superficial kindness, the image of inner cruelty, makes people tremble, and Leonardo's performance is even more impressive, almost completely immersing himself in the role in the play. Bring multiple layers of character to life, from the beginning of confidence to stupidity, from confusion to growing fear, and then I regret it in the end. She shows various complex emotional changes in the play. Every emotion after her interpretation have become so real, although the expression is still strong, but the explosive power given to the character is extremely strong. Let the audience deeply feel her emotional contagion. Besides, the actress who plays the heroine Molly, bring out the wise and emotional side of the character. Delicate interpretation. Also put the uneasiness about the bizarre murder case, and her heart turned to death for her husband's betrayal is revealed. Can feel the emotional flow of the characters. Her scene opposite Leonardo. Capture the character just right. Heart palpitations about this sadomasochistic relationship, even if the acting experience is not as rich as the 2 movie stars. But he showed no stage fright. Also very layered. It makes people's eyes light up. Killers of the Flower Moon is not the same popcorn commercial movie. Rave reviews after premiere. Rated up to 90%. Definitely a contender for this year's Oscars.